pass it on to the next generation, that this bridge is absolutely necessary based on where we are right now. So as the president said, we are very pleased to announce that today we are going to be effectuating an $11 billion bridge payment to our farmers. The money will move by February 28th of 2026, but by the end of this month, so just in the next couple of weeks, every farmer that is able to apply for it will know exactly what that number looks like. So as you are going to your lender, as you are working to ensure and understanding what you can plant for next year, you will have that number in hand. And we will continue to talk to our farmers, continue to understand exactly what this looks like and what is necessary. The final thing I'll say is, well, we're holding $1 billion back. So today we are announcing $11 billion. We are holding $1 billion back just to ensure that we are covering. So today's announcement covers all of our row crops, but some specialty crops and others that we are still working with to best understand where they are in the farm economy and ensure that we're making every forward-moving position that we need to. And then finally, as we move to this new golden age for agriculture and for rural America, as we continue to fight for these farmers and ranchers, their way of life, and those that are represented here represent hundreds of thousands of farmers across this country. Just know that this president, I have never been around anyone who every time we talk, he asks, how are my farmers?
Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah, Koholoyamla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Dash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, led by the Spirit, taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and H.I.M that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And as you can see, Trump bailing out the farmers like he did in his first term, right? With all these tariffs, he done fucked everything up. Now he gotta, try and fix shit. But as you can see, the lady that was speaking, which these women shouldn't be in those positions of authority anyway. Scripture says that, the women shouldn't, usurp authority over the man. But she went on to say, talking about the farmers, the next 250 years, as if America is going to be around for another 250 years. Are you fucking crazy? This place is through. And this is a part of showing you that it's actually through. Esau's kingdom is done, man. Let me get a quick scripture real fast in the Apocrypha. Beautiful times we living in, man. Ecclesiasticus 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's what we're witnessing right now. We're witnessing the fall of Esau, man. This dude stole his land. It's blood soaked. And he's trying to continue. And that guy be looking sleepy as hell. That dude gonna fuck around and fall over, man, on national TV, I believe. That's just me speaking as a man. But as of late, these past couple of months, if you go back and you look at him, like 11 months ago, you can see a clear difference in the way this dude look. He don't look like he's gonna last much longer, man. But see, he created this problem. And of course, America been kind of, I can't say he created the problem, because a lot of, even when Joe Biden, farming has just been falling off, period. You know what I'm saying? And then Esau, he fucks with the foods, he's not treating the land Sabbath, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that, because there's a land Sabbath, man, that you have to keep to make the foods profitable, so to speak, man. He don't respect that. He won't let the land rest. He don't let nothing rest. Everything is fucked all up with this guy in power, man. Okay, this is the law. And these are Christians. These are supposedly be, these good old Christians, good old sweet white baby Jesus Christians. And they don't keep nothing biblical or scriptural, man. Leviticus 25:2. Matter of fact, let's just go into it. Let me see what the rest is here, because we get verse 1. And as the Lord, that's a lot. Leviticus 25:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord. Right? 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the seventh year shall be a Sabbath unto rest. Salakia. But in the seventh year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for Yahweh. Thou shalt neither sow thy field, nor prune thy vineyards. That which groweth of its own accord of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of the vine undressed. For it is the year of the rest unto the land. And if Esau were to do this, the food would be a whole lot better, man. They'll get a lot more production out of the food. You know what I'm saying? But this man, he's so damn greedy. And then at the same time, too, he's he's overall he's fucking with the creation that the Lord actually set up. There's an order to the setup that the Lord done, man. You know, the Lord made the fruits and vegetables perfectly. He didn't, if he didn't want seeds in the damn fruits and vegetables, he wouldn't have no seeds in there to begin with. He put the seeds in the fruits and vegetables so you can reproduce year to year to year until the land Sabbath come around. You give it a rest, and then you're gonna get a good yield and increase. This man don't care about none of that, man. He done took the seeds out of the fruits and vegetables, mainly all of them, overall. I mean, the scripture talked about how we'll eat our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles. Let me get that. But he has absolutely no. But it's just greed, man. He didn't even need to. Nothing was wrong with the way things. I mean, nothing. The Lord created everything perfectly. Perfectly, man. The Lord didn't need him doing his science, man. But that lets you know that he's the wicked. He's the wicked that the Bible speaks of. I've been talking about this as of late. Me and the bro, this guy's reverse. I call him. I might as well just start calling him reverse, man. This dude, everything that he puts his hands to is backwards as hell. This is Ezekiel 4:13, and Yahweh said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So, as a people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, we getting a raw deal, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the foods. Now, Esau, and even though they eat defiled ass bread too, but they can get better cuts of meats and better, fruits and vegetables. They don't have food deserts like how we have food deserts. So, they're not all impacted by the fast food chain, you know what I'm saying, type of deal, right? Let's go into some of this article. I mean, pretty much you see what it is. The title says it all. Trump to unveil $12 billion aid package for farmers hit by trade war. U.S. President Donald Trump will unveil a $12 billion aid package for American farmers on Monday. Two White House officials. All right, we pretty much see what it is. Farm groups and Republican farm state lawmakers have sought the aid in part to support farmers with purchases of seed, fertilizer, and other expenses for next year's growing season. The U.S. farmers have been saddled this year with record harvests and lost billions of dollars in soybean sales to China when the nation turned to South American suppliers this fall during stalled trade talks. Well, hey, this guy, he got the book on the art of the deal. I guess he was trying to run down, trying to run game, or just basically trying to make it seem as if he was just that dude. That pride, man. The scriptures talks about how pride comes before destruction, a haughty look. Matter of fact, let me grab it real quick. I'm thinking I don't want to butcher it. Because he was being prideful as hell. Thinking he's going to force these people into doing shit. And they don't need you. And that guy, he super duper showed Trump, like, motherfucker, we don't need you. We can go elsewhere with our money. And I think they buy a lot of pork from here, too. What's that? Proverbs, 16, Salakia. Proverbs 16 and 18, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. right? And this guy was very prideful. When he first came in, oh, I'm going to stop these wars. You know, if I had been here, there wouldn't have been no wars. No, so-called white people, they always warn. You motherfuckers been fighting since you've been a people. It's not going to ever be peace as long as you're in charge, man. You know? He's trying to force these people into, you know, his tariffs and shit. It fucked up everything with Canada. All these different countries, man. And matter of fact, it put a real bad taste in the mouth of you know, America. Just these other countries looking at America like you a piece of shit. You shitting on your allies. The only people that you really helping out is Israel, and they don't give a shit about you. You pushing everybody else out as far as NATO and the EU. You know, he came in with all that pride, man, and now you see the results of it. Because China went elsewhere. Like, for real. But it says, let me see here. Trump will not. Oh, that's what we was just watching. The announcement of it. Roundtable at the White House alongside Treasury Secretary Scott Bissett. I think he's a flaming sodomite. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins and members of Congress, a White House official said, growers of corn, cotton, sorghum, soybeans, rice, cattle, wheat, and potatoes will attend, the official said, right? Up to $11 billion of the aid is meant for the newly designed Farmer Bridge Assistance Program for row crop farmers hurt by trade disputes and higher costs. The remaining $1 billion is for other crops, and specific details are still being determined. So pretty much overall what she was saying in the video. Now, mind you, okay, so all of a sudden you got this hot $12 billion, which they, you know, ain't gonna give them some more anyway. Yeah, this is just the beginning. But when it came to the SNAP benefits, they ain't want to give you, you know, the people the SNAP benefits, man. Because they had, you know, emergency, you know, just in case the government shuts down, whatever. There was, you know, there's a emergency package, you know what I'm saying, where they can dip into where it doesn't affect the people eating. This motherfucker, man, he's like, nah, we don't want, nah. We gonna hold off on everything until these Democrats do this, and this. So the guy, he really don't care about all Americans. As a matter of fact, I don't think he care about any of them. I mean, the way he get down, you know what I'm saying? You know, he talk about his little mega base, but man, he don't give a shit about them people. Okay, but yeah, you see what it is with the 11 billion. It says farmers have forced higher costs for agricultural inputs like seed and fertilizer. Which seed, man, that shit, bro, ain't no way. Everybody should have them a plot of land, man, and planting stuff, man. I remember when I was growing up, you know, in the South, man, we had a big stupid ass garden. Matter of fact, you know, we was kids. It was tedious, but we had to get out there and work that field. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but looking back, I appreciate that now. You know, because we had everything. We had everything in that damn garden, man. And once the harvest came through, we had a few fucking deep freezers. We bag all that shit up, and you had food for the entire winter. We didn't go to the supermarket. It wasn't no, you know, you could go to the supermarket and grab certain things, you know, but we didn't go to the supermarket for nothing other than, you know, some seasonings, you know, little stuff like that. You know, it depends on what you know, what kind of seasoning that you wanted or needed. It was a butcher not too far away. You know, you go and you pick out, you know what I'm saying, whatever animal, and they kill that motherfucker on the spot, man, and bag your meats up, man. Cut that shit up and bag your meats up in them white paper back then, you know. Write the label on there or whatever it is. You throw that shit in the deep freezer. But man, all that, man, we had pecans. We had apple tree in the backyard. We had a pear tree in the backyard. We had a plum tree in the backyard. What else? You can walk along the roadway. We had blackberries and raspberries just growing wildly, you know. And I can remember my grandmother, you know, she would always say, well, you know, put you some salt and black pepper, and use some aluminum foil. You kind of boil it up, you know what I'm saying? Kind of fold it up, you know, with your salt and black pepper, and you put it in your back pocket. And that was for you to have some seasoning just in case you was out somewhere playing and you wanted something to eat. Man, we eating so fucking good, bro. Watermelons growing all over the place, you know. It was just shit everywhere. Like straight up. Now all of a sudden, this man, he done poisoned everything. All the damn trees is dead. You don't see any fruits and vegetable trees. Like, you don't see stuff like that no more, man. He done made these concrete jungles, these cities. Everybody should have a plot of land and be able to just plant what they want to plant, man. You had a little barter system. The person up the street might have, had some corn. You might have had cucumbers, whatever the case may be. I trade you this for this, this for that. Like a barter system. Here you go, Esau. He brings supermarkets into play and corner the market, and then he's able to just regulate the prices and giving you some bullshit. Crazy, bro. Crazy fucking work, man. But he's the wicked that the Bible speaks of. That's that 2 Thessalonians 2:3, man. The man of sin, the son of perdition is being revealed, man. This dude is wicked as hell. Okay, but it says, soybean farmers expected to see their third consecutive year of losses. I remember soybean fields being down south too. There's a big ass. Man, when I tell you Esau got land, bro, right across the street from our house in the south, right across the street, literally. Man, this motherfucker, bro, that goddamn field was so big. You be driving for a while before you see the end of that fucking field. Esau owned, man, I can't even tell you how many acres that shit was. You driving for miles, the same shit planted there, bro. So Esau been getting it, and what's really going on is the Lord, he's starting to stomp this man out. His kingdom is coming to an abrupt end, man. Like the plagues of Egypt. America, Babylon is being plagued, man, by Yahweh H.I.M, man. Okay, but it says net farm income could fall by more than 30 billion in 2026 due to the decline in government payments and low crop prices, according to an estimate from the Food and Agricultural Policy Research Institute at the University of Missouri. Farmers are set to receive a near record 40 billion in government payments this year. See, all this land they stole. You stole all this land from the so-called Native American Indians, man. And now your ass struggling. Because Esau had a good run. He had a good run. He damn sure had a very fucking good run. The Lord set this guy up, man. This is his kingdom, Let me get Daniel chapter 4, verse 17 real quick. Yeah, he got set up real smooth, man. He's but it's time for that shit to stop. Yeah, it's time for that shit to stop. The Lord breaking his ass all the way down. Okay, and I don't think I recorded that part beforehand, but Trump was talking before that lady started talking. He was talking about the suicides, how farmers was committing suicides. He's like, yeah, the numbers are too high with the suicide. Yeah, because Esau, he don't know how to handle defeat, man. But here you go, you got Jake, done been downtrodden and defeated for hundreds of years, and Jake just get his ass up and go to work, man. He ain't, Jake be bugging out these days, though. These little YNs and shit, they a little something different, but still Jake kind of, they take it, just get up and take that shit, man. Daniel 4:17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So Esau is set up right now, and he's the basis of men, man. This dude is nothing good gonna come from this guy. The Lord created him to just be the wicked, man. Let's get this. Proverbs 16:4 says, the Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Right? So Esau was created, to be disastrous, man. and hey, look, Esau, I'm telling you, man, I grew up in the South. Esau living, they say fat of the land, that's how we know who Esau is, man, because the Lord said he would be blessed with that sword, and he'll have the fatness of the earth, man. Esau got land, bro. Esau got the earth. Overall, he pretty much, he controls, man, probably about 90% of this planet, man. Easily. He everywhere. This motherfucker all in space, man. He all in the oceans. So when I was growing up and I'm looking at like, this motherfucker's got, you know, farm equipment, bunch of damn tractors, bunch of damn trucks, bunch of damn, you know what I'm saying? Just everything that he see. Esau was getting money back then, though. He wasn't having the problems that they have right now. But see, the Lord is just breaking him down. He's his own worst enemy. So let me see. But that's pretty much about it, man. I guess they was going into the. Yep. During his first term, he gave 23 billion in aid to farmers hurt by the trade policy. See, so this is second time. He bailing the asses on out. All right. You go into the comments. You already know the people on his ass. Trump's tariffs hurt our farmers, so now Trump is going to correct the problem he created. All that good stuff. And you got people that's in here. They defending him. You know what I'm saying? You got the MAGAs. You got some hardcore MAGAs in this boy. Well, and then, yeah, let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much about it, man. Said Mega can never be trusted. Yeah, a lot of these Trumpsters, man, they starting to, turn their backs on Trump, man. They like, this dude, he's fucking up too much now. You doing a little too much. We didn't vote for all this shit you got going on. Oh, no. Get this shit. What the hell is this? Y'all out y'all mind. Real men suck for America. I ain't getting into that, but they did say uh Epstein files or whatever. Trump got he blowing bubble or somebody. Yeah, this shit is retarded, man. Anyway, we see what it is. They're gonna take the money from the citizens. Us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We don't have no say in none of this shit and what's going on. They're gonna take our money, our little tax money, man, and give it to these motherfuckers. But let me see something here. This new little app here. I'm gonna see if I can put something in. I'm just gonna put in why are farmers committing suicide. Yeah, well, I guess, man, shit, you got 800, 9,000. I mean, you got fucking 10,000 acres. You got all this shit. You know what I'm saying? You lose that shit. Whoo. Hey, they've been even over in India. It's a lot of countries, man, because that's your life, really. It's what you do. I probably should have put America. It says farmers have higher suicide rates than many other professions because they face a combination of heavy financial stress, difficult working conditions, social isolation, and barriers to mental health care, which can create a sense of being trapped with no way out. These pressures often stack up over time and can lead to anxiety, depression, burnout, and crisis, especially when support and treatment are hard to access. No, that's just Esau. That's just Esau's way out, man. You know, Esau can just lose a regular job and come home and off the family, man. Off the dog. Like what the fucking dog had to do with it. God damn, leave the dog alone. And he'll come home, he'll off his wife, he'll off his children, and then he'll drink the last of his little scotch or whatever he got on deck, and he'll off himself, man. Because Esau not built like that. The scriptures talked about how one shall be stronger than the other. When it came to the twins, Esau and Jacob, Esau not strong spiritually like that, man. Spiritually he sucks. He's definitely the basis of men. Okay, but main pressures on farmers is financial stress is one of the strongest drivers. Volatile crop and livestock prices, rising input costs, debt, loan defaults, and threats of foreclosure can make farmers feel they have failed their families and may never recover. Repeated crop failures, droughts, floods, livestock disease, or equipment breakdowns often worsen this financial spiral. Workload and chronic stress are very high. Farmers commonly work long hours with little rest under time pressure in physically demanding and often hazardous conditions, which contribute to exhaustion, injury, pain, and burnout. Chronic stress itself is a known risk factor for suicidal behavior. Hey, I remember working in them fields, man. Shit, when I grew up, I worked in them fields. That shit is that's some work. But that's just I just going out just picking shit. You know what I'm saying? You bent over all damn day. You walking up this long. I told you how long the damn fields was. Fucking field. You be walking up a row for a mile and a half, 2 miles. And then once you get to the end of that bitch, you switch over and you come back the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way that it was, man. And I was doing that shit as a kid, man. But hey, that was, Grams didn't play, man. You got your ass up, you went to work. As a kid, we went to work, man. Shit, I've been working since I was like fucking 8 years old, man. Shit, you worked. You was taking your ass somewhere to somebody's field and you was gonna pick something, goddamn it. Real for real. And then my grandmother, she would lease a field. She would have somebody come through, plow that bitch up, dish up the dirt, you know what I'm saying, and plant what she wanted to plant. And we go out there and pick that shit. She wouldn't hire nobody. It was just family shit. Pick all that shit, throw it into them sacks, throw that shit on the back of a truck, and roll that shit up to the Grady, you know what I'm saying, where they do the weights and all that little shit like that. That's where I learned how to, money, how to really count and all that good little shit like that. Because, my grandmother, she made sure that we learned shit like that, man. She was a very, she kind of remained, she was into the scriptures, though, real hardcore. She kept the Sabbath and little. She didn't know exactly who she was, though. She didn't know that she was actually an Israelite. Or at least I never heard her say anything about it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we went to church every damn day, twice on Sundays, literally. But she was kind of like one of those Proverbs 31 women, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was real about the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandfather would be on the road, doing his thing because he was in the trucking, and she made, she kept the house, man. She literally was a woman that kept the house, man, and done extra shit. Fresh food in the fields and our garden and stuff like that. We had probably about an acre or something like that. That's a nice size, man, for just planting your own shit, you know what I'm saying? But she will also lease a field. She'd find somebody and be like, well, how much you want for that field for these next 3 months, whatever. I'm talking about shit. That motherfucker might be, who knows, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 acres or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But I remember us having a few locations. I guess whoever was given the best deal. That was just something she was about, man. I never heard her on the phone with nobody or how she even set. We were so young, though. We didn't really think about it like that. How she set up the deals and, what she would, pay and, all that good little stuff like that. But, shit, we made good money, man. For real. I ain't gonna even front. That farming, that was back in the days, but, hey, farming, man, you can make some money. But overall, you should be able to just walk out and just pick what you want to pick, man, and it's fresh, man. Fresh lima beans, fresh snap beans, fresh black eyed peas, fresh, you know what I'm saying, squash, fresh. Everything was just fresh, bro. In the cities, you know what I'm saying, you have people, they go into the backyard, nigga might do some tomatoes, some peppers or some shit, you know what I'm saying? No, we had a full-fledged grocery store in the backyard, bro. Well, our backyard was huge as hell because I used to hate cutting grass. But it was another portion outside of that. And we, dish that shit up, man. You know what I'm saying, man? And plant that shit. And you had to go out there, and you plucking them weeds from around that shit. Because you don't want your shit to choke out. But, man, that was just work that we done, man, when we was growing up, man. Shit, I mean, it is what it is, man. I appreciate Miss Grandma now. Shit, Grandmama been in the spirit world for quite some time, man. But damn, I remember them days, man. Anyway, enough of that. Guess I'm gonna go ahead and end out there, man. But yeah, Esau just getting what his ass deserved. He's reaping what he's sown. He stole this land. Cause look how big this. See, matter of fact, this kind of looked like one of the, this is how the fields looked in the south. Like right across the street from our house. That goddamn field, man, with that motherfucker, man, I don't know how many miles that field ran. Like, even if you were to look at this picture, if you got the whole size of it, the whole look of it, man, there's no telling how big this goddamn field is. And it's just Esau. All them woods back there, all that shit he is too. You got fishing holes and shit, ponds and streams of water. You know what I'm saying? I do remember my uncle. One of my uncles, he lived a little further up, but but my dad used to go up there and work with him. But shit, man, shit, Unc, man, he had a nice piece of land. They ended up chopping it up and bought all of it up. You know what I'm saying? Once he passed away, mainly because of my aunties and shit. Once he passed away, you know what I'm saying? They wanted to just cash out and get their money, then keep the land and think about the kids. None of that shit. But 80 acres, the state of Alabama at that time, he had 80 acres just with pine trees on them. And they used to, the state of Alabama leased that portion of my uncle's land for telephone poles. Like the light posts. You see those big ass wood posts on the side of the streets? Those come from pine trees. And what they would do is, they just come through, cut the trees down, replant. But my uncle made a lot of money just from that alone. That was just a portion of his land, 80 acres, just for that. Now the other part that he had, because he had animals, he had, but the important part was a stream. You had water, you had a creek flowing through the land, right? You can just be walking along and you can just pick up chicken eggs anywhere. You motherfuckers charging fucking $12 a carton for a goddamn carton of fucking eggs, man. We used to run into the backyard, type of deal, and you just pick some damn eggs up. Come back in the crib, crack them bitches on the skillet and get going. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man done completely destroyed this planet, bro. There's no way that people should be paying the exorbitant prices that they're paying for food, man. There's just no way. But of course, he got the fatness of the earth. He this is his kingdom, and he don't. You can clearly see that him being in power, no one can survive if this man continues, man. It just is what it is, man. So I'm gonna end out there. I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Inshallah, and a Bible ball.